Very good evening, students. This is Kalpana from Navars EduTech. Welcome to NASO Astronomy Preparatory session. Today we have our educator, Miss Agatha Das. She is an enthusiastic and dedicated astronomy educator with a strong foundation in observational astronomy, computational methods, and astronomical data analysis. She holds dual master's degrees in one in astrophysics from the University of Hertfordshire and another in physics from Pondicherry University, a combination that highlights both her theoretical knowledge and hands on research experience. Her approachable nature, strong communication skills, and adaptability make her effective in engaging students and igniting their curiosity about the universe. As an educator, Agatha combines subject expertise with empathy to create an inspiring and intellectually rich learning environment. Her teaching spans a wide range of topics from the mechanics of rockets and satellite missions to the mysterious of exoplanets, encouraging learners to explore both the science and wonder of space. We welcome you, Agatha. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind introduction and your words. And good afternoon, all. So I hope I am audible. So yeah, I can see the YouTube chat. Okay, so tell me in the chat box that what are we going to do today? Or why you guys are here today to attend my session? What are we going to talk about? Can anyone tell me that in the group, in the chat box, please, before beginning into the session? So yeah, you can post your answers in the chat box so that I can see. So why are we here today? Can anyone tell me why are we here and what are we going to talk about? Okay, I can see someone saying that space, astronomy, learning. Yes, we are here to talk about astronomy, but specifically for preparing you guys for your NASO exams. Okay, so without any delay, I will start the session. I hope everyone can see my screen. So today we are focusing on the astronomy part of your NASO exam and especially for grade 9 and 10. I hope all of you guys who are attending is from grade 9 and 10. And yes, let's prepare you guys for the NASO. Okay. So yeah, before getting into the subject part, first I will go through how you should be attending the exam. First of all, it's an exam. You don't have to think too much. How you don't have to panic too much. Just relax, keep calm, and then enter to your exam hall. And when once you enter to the exam hall, one thing that you should be always keeping in the mind is time. So when you think about time, let's say, so for we have 50 questions for NASO, and in that 50 questions, first 30 questions will be coming from science, yes, and next 31 to 50 questions are coming from astronomy. So for astronomy session, we have 20 questions and altogether 50 questions. So you will be getting a 60 minutes of time. And if you get 60 minutes, how will you be giving each question? How much time you will be distributing for each question? So can anyone tell me in the chat box how much time you can distribute for one single question? It's given in the PPT itself, but tell me according to you, how long you will spend on one question? What is the maximum that you can spend on one question according to you? So you can post your answers in the chat box so that I can see your replies. 1 minute exactly. So this should be always be in your mind. 1 minute per question. Okay, so if you are spending too much on the question, you will be lagging. You won't be able to go through all the 50 questions. So first, what or how we will get into the questions. First, you should be focusing on the easy questions. So the easy questions you can answer quickly. So after reading the question and the four options given, you might be directly thinking, okay, option B would be the right answer. So you, without any extra thinking, or this might be the one question that you always revised, that you are confident about. So that kind of easy questions you can answer quickly. It won't even take 1 minute, isn't it? But still, read your questions very carefully. I will tell you why. Before that, next set of questions are hard questions or difficult questions, maybe like confusing options. So what you should do, without spending too much time on one single question, you can mark the question in your question paper, and then once you finish all your easy questions, you can come back to those questions that you have marked. Okay, so this is how you should attend easy questions and hard question all together. You have 50 questions. Okay, and at the end of your exam, okay, at the end of your exams, what you can do is, last 5 minutes you can keep yourself for checking whether you have written all the exam question paper, answering sheet, OMR sheet, and you can check whether you have written your name, class, your roll number, everything properly on the OMR sheet. You can check whether you have missed any questions. This is the 5 minutes at the end for checking and verifying whether you have done everything properly. Okay, now, I will give you some golden rules to attend exams, especially for NASA Olympiad exam, and maybe you can use these rules for your other competitive exams also. So, like I mentioned earlier, you have to read the questions very carefully. So, when you read the questions very carefully and also very slowly, slowly doesn't mean you have to slow it down where you can't finish the question in 1 minute. But when you read the question very slowly and carefully, what happens? Every single word will register in your mind, isn't it? So you won't miss out any single word that is given in the question, and then you can go to your options. And like I mentioned, once again, don't spend too much time on one question. If you spend too much time, you won't be able to go through other questions which are coming at the end of the question paper. So don't spend too much time. It's completely all right if you don't know the answer. We all are not someone who knows everything, right? We might get confused. We might be attending very difficult questions which you are not aware about, isn't it? So don't panic. It's completely all right. And if you are confused, you can come back to that question later. And finally, what you can do is never leave one question also unanswered. Why? First of all, you don't have negative marks in this particular competitive exam, that is NASO Olympiad. And if you don't have you don't have no negative marks, that means you can attend every single question. And even if it is a wild guess, it's completely fine. What if that wild guess turned out to be the right answer? We never know, right? So don't skip any question, even if it's a hard, confusing question. Just go with the instinct. Okay, so if you have revised, you have put all the logic that you have, then also you couldn't form the right answer. Don't panic. You can at least answer one option, okay, so that maybe that can add up to your point if it's right, isn't it? So never leave any questions unanswered. And now I'll tell you how to choose the right answer. So to choose the right answer, first what we should know, we should be knowing the wrong answers, right? So if you get four options, what you should look, you should look for all the four options, but those options which are not at all right for the question asked. So if you understand those wrong questions, you can eliminate those options. Maybe one or two might be the wrong options that you are completely confident. So you can eliminate those two, and then you will be left with two options or three options, right? So in these two or three options, now what you have to do is you have to read the questions and you have to grab those keywords that are given in the question paper, and also you can relate those keywords that you have already revised or learned when you were revising this particular chapter or this particular module. So you can relate those keywords to the question paper. So look for those keywords that you are sure about, you are confident about in the question paper. So it will be easy to sort out that particular topic from that module, isn't it? So look for those keywords in your question paper. And you can also think about everything that you know related to the question. Okay, so if it's not directly helping you, it might help you to build the logic for the question. Okay, so if you think about what you already know related to that particular question, and maybe if you look for, and maybe when you look for the keywords of the question, what happens is that, yes, you can easily pick the options from the question paper. Very good. Okay, so now we will be moving on to the general questions. Before getting into that, we have several set of questions. In this 20 question itself, you might see normal general questions, you might see picture based questions, you might see maybe like a graphical questions. So there will be different varieties of questions. So don't panic. We will get through most of the questions today and we will make you prepare for that. Okay. So yeah, first we will see the general questions, how a general question will look like. Okay. So yeah, here is your question. The question says that a scientist is trying to gather data about the climate pattern at a particular region of the equatorial Pacific Ocean. And she wants to design a satellite that can monitor that region continuously. She decided to send a satellite to, let's see the options. So the options are option A, polar low Earth orbit, option B, an equatorial middle Earth orbit, option C, a geostationary orbit, and option D, a geosynchronous orbit. So here we have four options, right? So what is the need of sending the satellite? That according to that we can decide the orbit, isn't it? So when you design a satellite, this particular satellite, it is saying that it should be monitoring a particular region, isn't it? So this is what they are saying. So they want a satellite to be monitoring one particular region continuously. It's not like you can change the location or the region. You should be always monitoring that particular region. So in this scenario, tell me one thing, that in these option A, B, C, D, which will you be eliminating first? Which option you will be eliminating first? Please tell that in the comment box so that I can see. So my question is, which option you will be eliminating first? Not the right answer. Which option you should be eliminating first? So yeah, someone has told me option A. Let's see why option A we can eliminate. Why can we eliminate option A? Because that is the right choice. So when the satellite is orbiting around the Earth. Okay, so let's say this is our Earth and our satellite is going to orbit around the Earth, isn't it? So let's say maybe like this. So in here, I am trying to build a polar orbit. So here you can see I have created an Earth in the middle, and here you can see an orbit with a satellite. Okay, so here is my satellite, and this is polar orbit, isn't it? It is coming from north to south of the Earth. So when the satellite is revolving like north to south in a polar orbit, is it focusing on one single region? No, right? It is continuously rotating. So you can't use polar low Earth orbit. Perfect. Now we will go to option B. Option B is an equatorial middle Earth orbit, isn't it? So here what they are asking, the need of the satellite is to monitor the region, but it might be confusing for you because they are also seeing the region is equatorial Pacific Ocean, isn't it? They are also saying that it is equatorial Pacific Ocean. So you might be thinking, yes, the answer is also having equatorial middle earth orbit and they are focusing on a region of equatorial Pacific Ocean. So is it the right answer? Is it the right answer for this question? Can anyone tell? Is B is the right answer or not? What is the reason or why B is not the right answer? Can anyone tell me? Okay. Okay. So this is not the right answer, but I will tell you why it is not right answer. So the equatorial orbit, the middle earth orbit, what it do is it is actually the orbit where the satellite revolves around the earth less than 24 hours. Again, when they revolves around the earth less than 24 hours, it can't focus on one region, right? It will be moving, isn't it? So it won't be able to focus one single region on earth. So this is the reason why you shouldn't be choosing option B. Even though it says equatorial middle earth, the purpose of our satellite is to monitor the region continuously, right? So here you can avoid this option just simply thinking the middle earth orbit is having a revolution period less than 24 hours, so that you can easily ignore this option. Now let's go into the option C. So option C says that geostationary orbit, and here you can see option D also. Option D is saying that geosynchronous. So now that we have eliminated these two options A and B, so in option C and D, do you think both are right, or which one would be the right answer? Can anyone tell me which one would be the right answer for this particular question? Option C or option D? So yeah, I can see so many of you telling me the answers. Right answer, yes, yes, you all are right. The D is the wrong answer. But here is my question. Why? Why is D the wrong answer? Okay, now we will look an image. So this question doesn't have an image, but for you to understand the difference between these two orbits, I have given an image here. So here you can see geostationary orbit, isn't it? And you can see geosynchronous orbit in the red color. So if you are putting your satellite in the geostationary orbit, it will continuously monitor one single region, isn't it? Am I right or wrong? It will always look into that particular region around on the earth. But if you are putting your satellite in a geosynchronous orbit, what happens? When the earth rotates, there is a tilt for geosynchronous orbit, isn't it? There is a tilt for geosynchronous orbit. Am I right? So the angle that makes the key role. So if this angle was not there for geosynchronous, you can choose that. But because of this angle, your satellite won't be able to focus on one single region on Earth. When the Earth tilt, what happens? Your satellite will move in a shape like this. So you can't choose geosynchronous orbit also. So your right answer would be geostationary orbit. So this is how you choose the right answer, even if you have a confusing question like this. So this is how you should eliminate the options. And if you go through A, B, C, D and you know the B is the right answer, but you should be considering C and D also, and why it is not the right answer. Like this confusing geostationary and geosynchronous. So you have to think twice and make your answer. Okay. So now we will move on to an image based question. Okay, so the question is asking for which combination of forces must be carefully balanced to ensure the rocket maintains a stable ascent trajectory. So let's check the image. Image is given and these are the options. So the question here is which combination of force must be carefully balanced to ensure the rocket maintains a stable ascent trajectory. So let's go through the option. Option A, lift and weight. Option B, drag and thrust. Option C, lift and drag. And option D, thrust and weight. So now again, let's get into the fun part. Tell me which options you will be eliminating first in this. I will get into the question. But before that, you guys tell me which options you will be eliminating first. So which can't be right in this given question? So my question is which options you will be eliminating. So not the right answer. So I want you to tell me the answer that you are going to eliminate. So D should be eliminated. Okay. I can see all the options to be honest. So let's get into the options. Now here we have option A, lift and weight. Now let's look at the image. Lift is given to the left of the rocket with an arrow and the lift is balanced by the weight. This is the option A telling us, isn't it? So when lift is this way and weight is downwards, is it actually balancing first of all? And second of all, I will give an idea how you can eliminate in this particular question, how you can eliminate the wrong answers. So to eliminate wrong answer, you have two options with lift, isn't it? So for the question they are asking, which all forces are helping the rocket for its trajectory, isn't it? So for trajectory, you have to send the rocket and you have to ignite the rocket and the rocket will go upward. In the upward motion for rocket, is lift helping the rocket? No, right? So the lift is actually helping aeroplanes to move up, not the rocket. So you can easily eliminate the options with lift. This is a trick for this particular question, and like this you can find those logic that relates to the question, and then you can eliminate or you can choose the answer. So this is why I told you you should check the keywords. Here they are specifically asking for trajectory. So when the rocket has to move upward, lift is not helping the rocket. It is actually helping the aeroplane to move up, but not the rocket. And now tell me which force is actually helping the rocket to move up or go in the upward direction. So tell me which is the option that actually, or which is the force that is actually helping the rocket to have a proper trajectory upward. So can anyone tell me in this four forces, which is that one force that helping the rocket to have a trajectory? Is it a lift, drag, weight, or thrust? So can anyone tell in the chat box which is the right force to help the rocket to move upward? So yes, you can post your answers. Yes, it is the thrust, isn't it? The thrust is helping the rocket to move upward direction. So in option B and D, you have thrust, isn't it? Okay, now we should look for drag and weight. So in drag and weight, here in the figure you can see drag is actually downwards in the blue and weight is actually in red color marked. Okay, is it visible for you all? In here you can actually check. The weight is little bit tilted and drag is actually against the thrust. This is also you can consider from the image, and if you know the right way the rocket is actually operating, you can easily understand it is the drag. Why it is the drag? Because for a trajectory to be maintained, the weight will actually doesn't help. Why? Because the force here, see which is the opposite force here in the image, it is drag, right? Weight is actually inclined. So the weight is not helping the rocket to have the trajectory. Actually drag is helping the rocket to have the trajectory. So you can eliminate the next option and you will get your right answer, that is drag and thrust. So yeah, thrust is helping for the rocket to move upward and drag is the balancing force. So is that clear? I believe it's clear for you. This is how you should look for the right answer in your image itself. Okay. So yeah, let's get into the next question. So next question is graphical question. So the question is which type of graph is shown below? Okay. So let's get into the option. Option A, emission graph. Option B, absorption graph. Option C, continuous graph. And option C, none of the above. And here, when you have a graph question, what you should first look for in the graph? You should always check for the x and y axis. What is happening in x and y axis? Okay, so here in x axis it is given as wavelength and in y axis it is intensity. Okay, so in x axis you have wavelength and y axis you have intensity, and it is not I mean in the question there is no other valid points have given. They just asked what type of graph is shown below. Okay, in this four options, what will be the options that you first will be eliminating? Can anyone tell me which would be the wrong option in option A, B, C and D? Can anyone tell me which will be the, okay, that you are completely assured about that this would be the wrong answer? Can anyone tell me that? Okay. Option C. Okay, good one. So you can eliminate continuous graph from the options. Why? Why you can eliminate continuous graph from option C? So I can tell that. So if a graph is continuous, it should be something like this. There shouldn't be any dips like this given in the graph. if there are break in between the graph like this, even though if it's a peak or a dip, you can see it's not continuous, it's having a depth. So you can eliminate the continuous graph from your option. Very good. And now we will go through option A and B. Now, for option A, it is saying that emission graph. For emission graph, what happens when the photons are emitted? Okay, when the photons are emitted, then you form the emission graph. So, when there is an emission in the photon, so what will happen? What will happen in the intensity? Can anyone tell? When there is an emission, what will happen in the intensity? Can anyone tell in the chat what will be happening to the intensity if there is an emission of photon? If you are emitting photon, what will happen to the intensity? Can anyone tell me the right answer? So, intensity increases. Very good. The intensity should increase, right? So, when the intensity increases, this graph should be having peaks, right? It shouldn't be having valley. It should be having the peaks. So, here the intensity is decreasing, isn't it? So, here you can easily eliminate emission graph. Okay. So yeah, you can eliminate two options, that are emission graph and continuous graph. Still you have an option of B and D. So let's check absorption graph. So what happens in an absorption graph? So the photons are absorbed. When the photons are absorbed, the intensity will decrease. So from that, here it is saying the intensity is decreasing and a valley is created. So you can easily choose your right answer as option B, that is the absorption graph. See how we have navigated each options and we came to the right answer. This is how you should be doing in the exams. Okay, now after graphical questions, we will look into electronics question. So I have included a electronic question here. So the question is asking, two bulbs of different resistance are connected in parallel to a battery of 20 volt. Which of the following is true? So here is your graph and you have an option A, bulb with higher resistance has higher voltage across it. Option B, bulb with lower resistance has higher voltage across it. Option C, bulb with higher resistance passes more current through it. And option D, both bulbs have 20 volt across them. So these are the options that you have. So we will go one by one. So first option is saying bulb with higher resistance has higher voltage. Okay. So first option is saying that higher resistance and higher voltage. So will it be the right answer? Can anyone tell me? Can this be the right answer? Can anyone tell me whether option A can be the right answer? Okay, so now if you're confused, what you can do is, they have told that two bulbs of different resistance are connected in parallel. So in the case of parallel connection, what will happen? What will happen? The distribution of current or the distribution of voltage for both the bulb will be equal without the change in resistance. So even if there is a change in resistance, you don't have to worry. The voltage will be given equally for the bulb 1 and bulb 2. Why? Because Because we have a keyword given in our question paper saying that the bulbs are connected in parallel. So when it is connected in parallel, the voltage will go equally to both the bulbs. So if you know this, you can easily avoid option A. Again, option B. Bulb with lower resistance has higher voltage. So same scenario we can apply here also. Bulb with lower resistance. Let's say R1 is lesser and R2 is higher. So do you think the bulb which is given for R1 will have higher voltage? No, right? Even if there is a change in resistance, the voltage will be equal in this set of connection, that is parallel connection. Okay, now we will go to option C. What is option C saying? Option C is saying that bulb with higher resistance passes more current through it. So now they are not talking about the voltage, they are talking about the current. Okay, so bulb with higher resistance pass more current. In here, which law you can apply? Can anyone tell which law we can apply to understand whether it's right or wrong? Can anyone tell me in the chat that which law you can apply here? Can anyone tell me in the group which law you will be able to apply here? For option C, whether to understand whether it's right or wrong, which law that is helping us to understand the resistance and current, not the voltage. Which law can we apply here? Can anyone tell me in the chat box? Yes, I am checking for the answer. Can anyone tell me in the chat box which Ohm's law? Very good. So we can apply Ohm's law, isn't it? So what is Ohm's law saying? When the intensity decreases, when the I is equal to V by R, right? When the V by R and when resistance is increasing, the current will be decreasing. It is inversely proportional. So higher the resistance, lesser the current should be, isn't it? So you can eliminate this option as well. So now option D saying that both bulbs have 20 volt across them. Yes, this is the right answer. Why? Because it is connected in parallel. So you can easily form your answer. Okay. Now we will see a problem solving question. Okay, so for problem solving question, let's see what is the example given. So here the question says that Pragyan rover traveled about 100 meter on moon. If its wheels have a radius of 0.1 meter, approximately how many wheel rotations did it complete? Okay, here you have an image. It's not mandatory that you will get an image for the question, but okay. So let's get into the options. So option A 159 rotation, option B 318 rotation, and option C 500 rotation, option D 1000 rotation. Now, how will you start forming your answer? How will you start forming your answer? First, you should look for the numbers given in the question. So it is saying that the rover has traveled about 100 meter. So when it is saying that, you can say the distance is equal to 100 meter. Okay, good. And now they are saying that if its wheels have a radius of 0.1 meter. So they have already given radius that is equal to 0.1 meter. So these two are given in the question itself. Now they are asking for number of rotation, isn't it? Number of rotation they are asking for. So now you have the distance, radius, right? Values for distance and radius. Now you have to find number of rotation. If you find the number of rotation, okay, what equation you can use from these two parameters? In this question, they haven't given the equation, but maybe you might get equations also in the exam paper. So it's according to each question. So in this question, they haven't given any answer. Can anyone do the problem and tell me in the chat box the right answer? Okay, I can already see the right answers actually. Yes, yes, it is option. It is option A. How? How it is option A? That is the task you have to do. So here I have already given the method you should be using. So to find the number of rotation, you already have the distance traveled, that is equal to 100 meters, and then your circumference you have to calculate. Since the wheel is in round in shape and the radius is given as 0.1, you can calculate the circumference using 2 pi r equation, right? The circumference is 2 pi r. So, when you substitute these values into your equation, that is n equal to distance traveled by circumference. So, you can put the distance traveled as 100 meters and circumference you can substitute as 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 0.1 meter, and you will get your right answer as 159.23. So here I just want to stress on one point. Okay, one thing that you should be always careful about is the unit given. In this question, we don't have to convert the units since they have given both the units in meters. But if it was given in centimeter or millimeter, you should be converting those into the standard units. So your answer can be changed with the help of converting into the standard units. Here it's completely fine because it's already given in the meters. But if it's in centimeter, millimeter, you should be converting that value first into meter. Then you should be substituting it in your answer or equation. Okay, now you got the answer as 159.23, and you know that there is an option for 159, and you can easily opt option A as your right answer. So this is how you should be doing a problem solving, and always keep in mind that you should be substituting the values in the equation, the standard unit. Okay, you should be always converting. If it's not given in the standard unit, you should be always converting it to the standard unit. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, now I will remind you once again that you should be reading each and every question very slowly and carefully. And like I mentioned earlier, 1 minute per one question. That means you'll get enough time to attend every single question. So always keep an eye on the clock and don't panic. Even if you don't know one or two questions, it's completely fine. You should stay calm, don't panic, and those two questions shouldn't affect the other questions that you are well aware of. So you should be confident enough to attend all the other questions. So don't panic at all. It's completely fine. Drink some water, take your time, and then again go to the question paper. Okay. And yeah, now, like I said, you should be answering every single questions. You shouldn't be leaving any single question, and that might help for gaining some more points, even if you don't know the answer. Okay, so yeah, now I look forward you to attend the NASO exam with all the preparation that you required. And if you have any question left for me, you can address that in the chat box. So yeah, anything related to attending the exams, the specifically astronomy part, you can put that in the chat box. Okay. So yeah, go on and I'll try to answer your queries. And yeah, I hope everyone can attend the NASO exam with all the confidence. And I will give you one more extra tip. Always revise the points that you have learned. Okay, revise it again and again and again. It will help you while attending the exam. Okay. So yeah, do you have any doubts, any queries that related to attending the exam, not subject wise, uh, to attend the exam or anything related that we have discussed? Which type of questions will be coming? So the questions that will all the questions will be in MCQ format, and you have to pick the right option and you have to bubble in the OMR sheet. And I have given few examples today here, and you might be getting maybe all four category, maybe two or three, maybe you can expect match the following, image based. So that is according to the question paper. So yeah. So when is the exam dates, that you can contact your school, or you can you can call customer support in the website of NASO, and you can check with them regarding the syllabus as well. So yeah, anything related to the NASO Olympiad exam? So how to prepare? So you should be following the syllabus, and most of the I think the questions are coming from the syllabus. If you have the syllabus, all the module, you can go through that and it will help you a lot. So sample paper or last year question paper, anything related to those, you can contact customer support. That is given, the number is given in the website. Okay, so anything related to exam date, syllabus, materials, you can contact customer support. Okay, I think that's about the preparatory session for grade 9 and 10. And I really wish you all can attend the exam with full power and energy, and don't panic. Like I said, it's completely fine. It's just an exam, not a big deal, isn't it? So, yeah, that's about today. And good luck for your NASO exams. And I wish everyone gets a good score. And thank you so much for attending today's session. And yeah, bye bye. Take care.